Hello Steelers, and welcome to this video in which I'm going to be looking at these two hefty beasts here. We've got the Black Powder Epic Battles Waterloo campaign French starter set and the Epic Battles Black Powder Waterloo campaign British starter set, both from Warlord Games. Both can be bought in pretty much any hobby shop at the moment, or from Warlord Games themselves. I'll put links down in the description down below. Now you're probably wondering why I've got these. Well, before Christmas, Warlord Games got in touch with me. I wanted to, explain this just in the fullness of transparency from my point of view. They got in touch with me and said they would they'd like to send some material over for me to use on the channel. So I said yes, I'd be happy to do that. Obviously, it depends on what it is. There isn't much point in me talking about periods of history that I don't really know too much about. So we kind of settled on the Black Powder stuff for Waterloo. Because I don't know anything about the American Civil War, I don't know anything about the English Civil War either. So we settled on the Waterloo stuff because that's where some of my interests lie anyway from other things. And they just sent these out as a basically for me to use, as I say, on the channel. So I want to say here and now, I haven't been paid to say any of this, what I'm going to say in this video. They have literally just sent these. However, I have put this marked this video as a paid promotion because I'm not entirely sure where it fits in with YouTube's terms of service when somebody sends you something and you talk about it. So I've kind of just erred on the side of caution with this. I was under absolutely no obligation whatsoever to talk about this in positive or negative terms from Warlord. It was literally just a case of them saying, we've got some stuff, we'll send it to you and use it how you want. So I thought, because of that, I would do a box opening. I haven't opened these yet. They've been actually sat here for a while. I've been ill for the last few days. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. But I've been ill. I'm just on the recovery of that. So I've not been able to make this video. And I've been desperate because these things have been sat here for days now, just waiting to be opened. So what I thought I'd do is, because I've not seen them, I mean, I'm aware that they exist. I knew when they came out. I saw the controversy about them being something like 13.5mm rather than 15mm, but apparently they fit pretty well with 12 and 10mm figures anyway. But these things, I think, I've never really cast an eye over them. That said, when I went out to Waterloo with my pals Mark and Dave in September, you can find videos about that elsewhere on the channel. Mark had got an entire, I think it was a British starter set, entirely painted up, set out in his Wargaming room that we looked at before we went out to Belgium, and it looked fantastic. And I was talking to them about using other rules and things, but using these box sets as a starter set, just to to get a lot of big figures on the table, lots of figures on the table, and do some bigger gaming, because I do short practice in 15mm. I also do Blucher in 6mm as well, so I'm kind of like missing that little middle ground, I guess. Blucher is big brigade level gaming, short practice is individual level gaming. This kind of comes in where I think it's around about battalion level gaming, so they're set out in battalions. But I've not really looked any deeply into that, and I never said it in public until now, but I was thinking, just at the back of my mind, about maybe picking some of these up at some point in the future and, looking at doing some bigger games. So, very fortuitously, Warlord got in touch with me anyway and decided to send them out. So, it's worked out for the best at the end of the day. So what I want to do in this video is, because, as I say, I don't know anything about these. I literally, I don't know what's in them. I've got a rough idea of what's in them because I know what was in the Waterloo campaign, but I don't know, the figures. I don't know what they look like in close-up. I've just seen some photos here and there on the internet, so I've not actually handled them in my hands and looked at them closely. So what I want to do is I'm going to open the boxes. So this is a bit of a box opening video, but I'm also then going to come back and I'm going to talk a little bit later on about what you're getting here and what my first impressions are of it. So when I open these, and as you can see, these are still in their cellophane. When I do open these, this is going to be my definite first impressions. I'll open each one individually. I'll do the British, then I'll do the French. And then, like I said, we'll come back and we'll talk about what I think about them, value for money, that kind of thing. So I can do a basic overall review. What I want to do as well with these probably over 2024, now I've kind of been presented with them, is actually produce these as well. And I want to try out Black Powder. I've only ever tried it once, and it was a club game where we were playing Anglo-Zulu War, and it was preparation for a game of Partisan the next, I think, that weekend. So basically nobody was teaching me how to play, it was just to see if the scenario worked. So I can't really remember it very well. I remember having fun, but I can't really remember the game at all very well. That's the only time I've actually played Black Powder. So what I want to do, a long-term goal, I've been thinking about what to do with these. Long-term goal is to get them painted, get them on the table, play some Black Powder and see how it works. So this is going to be, you know, it's going to be a long-term project. I will probably do, I'm going to experiment as well with this. I'm going to do some painting with these, some different painting to what I normally do. Because there's so many figures in here, I want to get them finished obviously as quick as possible. So I'm going to actually get myself a load of speed paints. I don't know if it'll be the Citadel ones, or if it'll be the Army Painter ones, or even the Vallejo ones. There's lots of them out there now at this point. And it's something, again, that I've never really tried. I've used them a little bit here and there. But I think it might be a case of using those just to speed up the painting process for these figures. And I want to do some of that and experiment with it. And then when I do, you know, I'm going to make some videos about that as well, and just to see how that turned out. I might do, you know, painting tutorials for how to get these things on the table very quickly. And I think that's going to be an interesting thing to do, like a long-term project, as I do other bits and pieces as well. So that's kind of what my overall goal is with these. Obviously, I want to see what they look like as well. In the first instance, so I really want to get in there and just, you know, break these things open, and just I'll be desperate to do it. So what I'll do is I'll get the camera reset up, we'll have a look at the table here, we'll get these fellas out open and see what's in, and then I will come back and we'll give you my impressions as to what is in there. So this might be a long video, might be a short video, let's find out. Right, well, first up we've got Wellington's British Starter Set Army. So this is the front of it. As you can see, this is a huge box. Just to give you a bit of an idea, just spin it around there. Lovely picture, I think that's Peter Dennis artwork on the front. Lovely bit of picture there. And then on the back we have, it says here, contains more than 1,000 soldiers, and we also have a bit of information just telling you exactly what is in there. It looks like there's quite a lot in there already, I can see. I know there's a copy of Black Powder itself in there. I think this is a cut down version for this particular box set, and a picture of the army itself with all the other bits and pieces, fully painted of course. So let's have a quick get this stuff off here. I can see as well we've got the Sarissa logo there, which I think they made a MDF building as part of this box set. So here we go. As I say, I am very excited just to see what's in this this set itself. So we lift off here. What's nice as well, I guess these boxes could be used as storage boxes for these as well. Right, okay, so first things first, we got a load of sprues. We've got a little copy of Black Powder there, so that is a cut down version of it. I'll open that in a second. We've got a load of sprues in red, of course, because they're British. Some dice, 6 dice, because, you know, why not? Everybody needs dice. Then we've got some bases as well. So that's very nice and useful. Everything is there basically for you. So then we've got all these sprues. Let's have a look. So, wow, that is a lot of sprues, isn't it? I'll go through these properly in a second. And then we also have here, this is Waterloo 50mm La Belle Alliance by Sarissa. So this is a nice little building for them. I've got some ideas already what I'm going to do with that. That will be very useful. So there you go, it shows you how to build and paint it. So that's going to be something that I'm going to look forward to doing. I always like Sarissa's stuff, very nice, very nicely made they are. Then we also have some flags as well, 15mm scale flags, so that's brilliant. Each of those, it looks like he's covering at least the main British units at Waterloo. If I look pretty, I'm not going to look too much onto that, but I can certainly see, yeah, there's quite a lot on there, a lot of choice you can have. Then we also have here a British painting guide. Oh, this will be interesting. So just a quick step through here. So it tells you block colours. What we've got here, so it's looking about this looks like they're using speed paints on these actually already, so that might be interesting to just to follow this to get these painted up. There you go, that's a nice painting guide. I mean, one of the things about these these things, I guess, is they are, you know, for the newbie, basically, for the person that's just started wargaming. It's a really good way of getting people involved, and I think one of the things is, although these are already, you know, red plastic, you could use these quite easily on the table straight away if you really wanted to. I wouldn't want to, because I only allow painted figures on my tables, but, you know, I can kind of imagine a couple of kids getting these for Christmas and basically just getting started on these almost on Christmas Day, really, if they couldn't be bothered with painting. Well, let's have a look at these anyway. Enough waffle. I'll talk about that later, actually. So we've got, this is a British sprue. This says British Infantry here. I'm not going to do too many close-ups on this, but you can see we've got cannons. What are those? Probably 9-pounders. Got a leader there, and then we have these strips of figures here. So we've got, how many of these made up of? I think they're 10 in total. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 men. You then also have the command stand as well there. The rest of these are infantry by the looks of it. There's a couple of others. I think they must be skirmishers, I'm guessing, up at the top here. So a mix of figures there. I don't know how many's in a battalion in black powder. I'm assuming, I think it's 4 bases, so that's probably going to be 8 of these. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So it looks like there might be about a battalion's worth there, especially if you've got the skirmishers as well. So I'm only figuring, like I say, I've not read black powder. I don't know it. I don't know how the basing works or anything. So, but I'm just figuring that out from my knowledge of things, you know. So I think that's probably 4 companies within the battalion. Then we also have some horses here, cavalry. These look like, I think, the lifeguards with their helmets on. I think, I'm just guessing at this point. But then we've also got a couple of horse artillery as well here, which is quite nice. There's something there on a little sprue. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's all right. One of the things that I've noticed, what I did see about these epic things, is the artillery. I think this is really, really well done, because you've got the artillery crew, forget my words there, actually moulded onto the wheels of the artillery itself, so they're not standing separate, which is one of the things is sometimes an issue, I think, with wargaming figures. They're all standing around the cannon rather than actually up against it, you know, physically with it. And I think that's a really nice way of doing things, just to make things a bit easier. So we've got those. More cav there. Another cavalry, let's have a look. It looks like we've got hussars here as well, by the looks of things, in their hats and their flamboyance. And it looks like there's 3 sets of it. Oh no, there's another set of, I think these are different. I'm not sure, it's hard to tell. No, they're the same, so I think they're hussars as well. Does it actually say on them? Let me have a look. Black powder, Waterloo, British light cavalry. So yeah, they're light, yes, light and heavy. So the other ones are the heavy cavalry. So it's Union Brigade and the hussars as well. And then, as I said, we've also got tons and tons of sprues of bases. I mean, you can obviously base your own if you want to, but I think these are designed for black powder itself. Let's have a quick look over here. We've got black powder, the rules, and as I say, I've never played this myself. It is an aspect of wargaming that I kind of not missed out on, but I don't have anything for, you know, battalion, with the battalions being the smallest units in a game. So I think it's, you know, this would be something that's interesting to have a look at and to see where they are. So just to run through this here, this obviously is very much Waterloo specific. And it looks as though it has, yeah, it's got some 100 Days campaign background and things, bits and pieces. I wonder if he's got any scenarios from them as well. All the different kinds of allies and what have you, and Prussians and things as well. So that's all in there. So again, I mean, pretty big, thick book. That's 260 pages. Obviously, it's a smaller version of the normal black powder rulebook that you would normally get elsewhere, but nice to see that it is included in this. So as I say, these sets seem to be instantly, you know, you're going to get exactly what you need to play what you need. Right, let's have a look at the French. and see what they're like. Right then, here we have the French set, and as you can see here, the another Peter Dennis painting. I did look, I'm not entirely sure what's happening in this background here, but it looks like they're on the edge of the Alps. I think it's just supposed to be smoke, but it just looks, when I first saw it, I thought, is that a mountain with snow on it? But a lovely picture by Peter Dennis, all the same. So once again, let's have another look. Again, a big, huge old box. Pictures on the back of the all the figures painted up. Again, gives you a bit of an idea of what you're going to get. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty similar to what we have with the British stuff. So let's dive straight in, shall we? Rather than standing here looking at it. As I say, I've been waiting days for this, and it's not going to stop me right now. I'm just really desperate to see what's in here. So lifting the top off, and surprise surprise, very similar to the British set, as you can see here. So we've got this time obviously Frenchmen, so they are in blue. So we got the French sprues there. There's infantry. We've got the same again, the bases, so they're done. Dice again, and we also have that book once again from for the black powder rules. So let's put that on the side. We've already seen that. So let's have a quick look at these sprues here first of all. So we've got just take those out there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 infantry, one of which is the obviously the eagle there. And then we've also got some skirmishers as well. These are individuals rather than, it looks like the British ones. I'm not sure why there is a difference between the French skirmishers. Possibly because the French skirmishers were you know, you had your voltigeurs or voltigeurs, however you pronounce it, and they were slightly different to the you know, to the British skirmishers, for example, who were just pretty much light infantry who fought in lines. Maybe if I look closely, they're probably more like 95th or something like that in the British set, or the 60th. And we've got the same again. We've got some artillery pieces as well on here, so, and a commander as well. So that's again another bunch of those. Look, I forgot to count up how many sprues of the infantry there actually were for the British. Well, let's have a look how many French there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprues of French infantry there. Same again, 10 men in a line. Then we get down onto the cavalry, and I think we've got 6 of these again. So yeah, it's pretty much an equal match by the looks of it for the British and the French starter armies. Obviously there's lots of other packs that you can get with Warlord anyway, just getting extra stuff. So we've got some French light cavalry, so I can see some lancers in there. I can also see some hussars and some various other bits and pieces, carabiniers, and also I'm assuming French horse artillery as well. So look at what else we got. And then we got the French heavy cavalry, and of course that, you know, got cuirassiers in there. You've got dragoons in there as well. So there's all quite a mix of different types. And once again, those cannons with the crew moulded to the guns. You can also see as well, they've got a couple of French eagles, spare eagles as well here, I suppose. Stick those with the cavalry or something. Not that they carried flags into battle. Anyway, small thing. We've got another Sarissa. So we've got Duquesne's house. So this is another one of the famous buildings at Waterloo itself. Sorry, just to get that off. So another A4, relatively basic building, but really nice and easy to do. You know, again, for a starter set. So you've automatically then got 2 buildings that you can play the game with, which I think is great, actually, you know, just providing all this stuff in here. And then we got the French painting guide. So that seems to be very similar once again. Oh, there we go. It shows you what exactly we've got. So we've got lancers, dragoons, chasseurs, a cheval, and the cuirassiers and what have you as well in there. And then just basically, you know, basic painting guide as to how to get these things on the table painted if you want to. Not that you have to, I guess. You know, if you really just want to play the game straight away, they're blue already. Then we have French flags. Another sheet of French flags, so that is very useful, very useful to have flags, especially in the Napoleonic period. Right, so that's the French stuff, very similar to the British stuff. Lots of things in there, lots of things to take in as well from my point of view. As I said, another copy of Black Powder, which I will probably give to a chum to have, so there's no point in me having 2 copies of it, so I can pass that on to somebody else. And what I'll do now is reset the camera up, and we'll have a talk about what my feelings are on these. Well, now, having finally opened these two, I can say that I'm absolutely massively impressed by them. I didn't realise how much stuff was in there. I didn't realise, you know, how much you get when you buy these things, and how easy they are to get new players playing war games. And I think that is probably the biggest positive that we can take out of this, if nothing else. I mean, I'm an old school wargamer anyway. I'm quite happy to go and look around lots of different manufacturers and you know, build armies and bits and pieces from various places. I don't have any particular loyalty to any particular manufacturer. But so I'm happy to say, for example, use Peter Pig, Battlefront, Plastic Soldier Company things for my Second World War 50mm stuff. It doesn't matter, as long as it matches, I'm not bothered. Now, you know, but the thing is, there are a lot of people who get very confused about historical wargaming, and I see it a lot, you know, you see it a lot online where people are saying, where do I start? And this is the kind of thing where this comes in. It's probably not designed for somebody like me, for example, who is, you know, happy to do that kind of thing. But it is designed for somebody who hasn't done any wargaming beforehand, and hasn't done any historical wargaming beforehand in particular. If you could just pick up a box set that just gives you everything you need to play and gets you playing pretty quick, then to be fair, I'm all in favour of that. You know, Warlord are, you know, they're the Games Workshop of the historical periods. And fair dues to them. That's their business model. That's the way they work. And if it works for them, it works very well. I think it works as well in turn for historical wargaming in general. And like I said, these two here are great introductory pieces for people. Now, I guess the first thing you've got to say is, right, okay, what's the price point here is about 100. I think they're selling for £110 each on Warlord's website, so they're quite pricey, but what you have to do then is also think, well, what was my last purchase from a wargaming company anyway? What, you know, how much did I spend last month on wargaming? And I can guarantee it's probably more than £110. Yeah, this would keep you happy and keep you quiet for a long time. You get over 1,000 figures in those, so we're talking 10 pence each a figure. That's just if you're just including the figures. You've also got those buildings from Sarissa, so they're probably, I don't know what the exact price point for those is from Sarissa, but I'd probably say about 10 or 15 quid each. Then you've also got the rules as well, and it's not, you know, although it's not the big hardback book, it is 260 pages of well illustrated rules. Whether the rules are any good or not, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the things that you actually get in here. You know, this is the fact that you have basically a massive lump of stuff for your £110, and it obviously is hard-earned money. And as I say, I mentioned it kind of when we were opening these. I've been thinking about these. You know, when if you've got a couple of kids who maybe got a set of these for Christmas or something like that, so they got a set each, two friends, one got the French army, one got the British army or Prussian army or all the other bits and pieces. With some glue, you could have these up and ready within, you know, a few hours of sticking the units together. So you could be playing a game of this after you've read the rules, of course, you know, within a few hours of actually buying it, if you already know black powder. And I think that is a great way of getting kids interested in wargaming. It's particularly historical wargaming. So, you know, I'm all in favour of box sets. I don't, like I say, I don't personally buy them myself unless I'm, you know, buying them for a specific purpose. Starter sets and things, I'm not that fussed, but if it works for somebody else, then I think, you know, it's a great thing that they exist. And, you know, fair dues to them, Warlord do these pretty well. And as I say, you know, you break it down in its price, and I think it is actually a pretty good value for money, even though it sounds like a lot of money straight up. I know I've spent, you know, hundreds of pounds on figures over the last year even, so just to buy a big box set, and these, I think I'll probably be painting these for next year anyway. So yeah, I'm like I say, I'm very chuffed that Warlord have sent them through to me. I'll reiterate it, I wasn't paid to say this. This is not advertising for them at all. I'm actually very surprised at how good these are. And I'm not just saying that, again, because they sent them to me free. I would give you my honest opinion on this, and that is my honest opinion. I'm very surprised. When they did arrive, I was quite excited just to look at the boxes and see what was in there. Whether I use them for black powder after I play black powder is a different matter. It might not be the game for me. It might be the game for me. I might love it. I might absolutely love it. But, you know, as I say, I've only ever played it once. But I'm exploring other options as well, but I'm certainly going to be using these figures for something, if nothing else. And like I say, over the next year or so, I'm going to probably be painting these up, so I will get to them and I will do some videos on that process as I go, and then hopefully at some point we'll have a big game of it as well, at least a couple of games of black powder just to get my head around it. So I'll leave it to that with you. Like I say, a bit difficult to do a review because I haven't, you know, I've not looked into it in a massive depth. I don't know black powder at all, but I'm kind of giving you my first impressions on what this box set provides as a box set. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have done, let me know. If you've already bought these and what you think about them, let me know. Whether it's good or bad, let me know. What's the negative points on these? What's the positive points on these? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, and also if you haven't done already, do subscribe to the video because it all helps out, and I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.